Hello there, this is LEGO Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys a review of the LEGO Avatar Floating Mountains Site 26 and RDA Samson. It is set number 75573, comes with 887 pieces, and is rated ages 9 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $99.99 and in Canada for $129.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review starting with the box. So as you can see, box has some very nice background showing the floating mountains of Pandora, and which looks great. You have the, of course, Site 26 and the RDA Samson, along with some nice sort of background of the sort of fauna of Pandora. Top of the box is some very nice details showing the minifigures, along with the Pandora scenery that you build with the set. Back of the box shows some of the features of the set, such as, reenacting Sully going into his sort of pod that allows him to connect to his avatar persona. And then you can see some more nice box art there. Now LEGO has continued with these avatar sets to really split up the builds. So the first 3 bags go into building the Site 26. And then the second one, second manual, goes into building the sort of fauna and design, and then the last the last manual and last 2 bags go into building the RDA Samson, which is sort of this hovercraft vehicle, helicopter vehicle. So kind of interesting. Definitely, they didn't have to make it into 3 separate manuals. It does aid in the building experience in the aspect that you can split up the builds with multiple people, which is always nice. That's sometimes been annoying in the past, so I can't really criticize it. It's kind of cool to be able to, build with either your partner, or if you have kids and you want to build a certain aspect of the set while they build the others, stuff like that. Like, it's really nice to have that, I guess, ability to build the set even faster by having multiple people build certain sections of the set. Now there is quite a few extra pieces in this set, as you can see, including 2 more of these avatar tail pieces, which I'm definitely starting to accumulate a lot, having all of the main avatar sets. I guess they were really worried that it wouldn't be included in the set, or perhaps maybe they're worried about some sort of defection. I'm not really sure, but normally don't see those type of pieces included as extras like we've seen in avatar sets. Like these minifigure adjacent pieces. I don't feel the first character we will take a look at is one of the exclusive characters in this set, which is Norm Spellman. He looks excellent with his printing of, the sort of more humanoid jacket printed on there. Looks great. It goes to the back printing there. It's got the very decent looking Navi face that I think does sort of capture him pretty decently, and he's got his sort of brown cargo pants that he wears in the film, of course. So a very nice character to get in this set, and yeah. Now the next character included in the set is one we are accustomed to seeing, though there have been some slight variations, which is of course Jake Sully in his avatar form, and he looks great. I believe this is the exact same one we got in the sort of the First Flight avatar set, which is it's still a very nice printed figure there with the nice leg printing and the, of course, great torso and face print. Now, forgot to bring up, but of course, with these avatar sets, there is no back head printing just because of how they had designed the ears on the head. And he's got his bow and arrow, which is fine. Now, the next character we'll look at is Jake Sully in his human form, and this is a great minifigure. No leg printing or arm printing as it's a muscle shirt. But great torso print. That's actually the RDA Samson, the helicopter vehicle, printed on the shirt, which looks excellent. And then back sort of shows off his, I guess, muscles. Face print has the mask, the rebreather, essentially, so they can breathe oxygen on Pandora. And then the back of the head has him without it. And just show off what the hairpiece looks like with it. So yeah, looks pretty decent overall. And of course, he does use a wheelchair in his human body, so he does include this really nice yellow wheelchair. Very simple build, but he can fit on top, like so. Our next character included in the set is Trudy, another exclusive figure in the set, as she is the pilot of this version of the RDA Samsons. And she looks excellent, great torso printing. No leg printing again, unfortunately. He does have some nice back printing. And then her face print is in her sort of warrior face prints from the end of the film. And then you have more of a normal face print behind it. So you can kind of reenact either the end battle scene or sort of earlier in the film when she was more closely aligned with the RDA. And finally, we have Dr. Grace Augustine. She looks excellent. Definitely, for me, the best character in the set. Also another exclusive character in this set. It's got the great dual molded legs there with the brown and tan. Also has some printing detail, including some leg prints there, or tan prints, and it wraps around the leg, which is just awesome to see. It's when you see figures like this, it just shows how far Lego can go to make their figures look even better, because this figure is absolutely awesome. The great torso print and back printing there. And then with her dual side face, she also has the sort of mask printed on, which is great. And yeah, this is just great minifigure. Absolutely love it. Getting Signori Weaver basically as a Lego figure is awesome. Now, taking a look at some of the aspects of the set, we do have the Direwolf, I believe is what they're called, or dire horses. These are the native horses of Pandora that Navi can ride. So, of course, we see in the film that Jake has some trouble. So, to represent when they're on or off, you have this piece here. So, basically, it would go in and sort of represent that no one is riding it. But then if you need either Jake Sully or Norm, because we do see later in the film Norm is riding these, you can have that. And then, of course, you can attach the pieces to represent the link between the Navi and the animals, like so. Looks great. And he's ready to ride off into battle or hunting, whatever it may be. Now, the next aspect of the set is sort of this floating mountains of Pandora sort of build. Very common in this set, obviously, or in this theme, I should say, not in this set. Basically, I think almost all of the Avatar sets have had some sort of build to represent the floating mountains, which is kind of interesting. And the way you can tell that is because they have this clear, these clear pieces. These are to represent that there's nothing between it. It's literally just air. And yeah, it looks very good though. It's got some nice pieces there. These are meant to be glow in the dark, but unfortunately, wouldn't really be able to show it on camera. And I don't find that they glow enough to be that notable. Like, you can see it a bit easier in the dark than some other Lego pieces, but it's not like revolutionary, I guess is how to put it. It's definitely just a cool little feature. You might see it if you have your lights off in your wherever you display your Lego, or have your Lego rooms, or whatever wherever you may put this set. You might notice it in the darkest times, depending on the lighting you have. Yeah, but it's got some great, sort of fauna pieces and branch pieces there, and just looks really cool. Now, one of the aspects of the set that you can have is there is these little sort of Technic pieces here, so you can actually attach to the sort of mountain here. Now, as you can see there, it is now attached, the RDA Samson, and looks pretty good. And it isn't, surprisingly, because I would say there's a lot of weight, it's very stable. Like, if you push it forward, it will tip, but overall, it's not going to tip on its own, which is nice to see. And it can just be popped off, like so. And you can flip it the other way as well. Just get it on, just like so. So you can have it flying in either direction, which is nice. Now taking a look at the RDA Samson, you can see it looks very cool overall. It's got some very nice pieces here, including this nice printed windshield or cockpit piece here, which can pop off to reveal space for our pilot, Trudy. We can fit in just like so. It's not studs, it's just those pieces that the legs can slide into, and then you would just lean her back, and she is ready to fly off into battle or to lead either Norm Spellman or Jake, or to pick up the Site 26 as they escape. You do have some nice stud shooters on the side to represent the guns, so these sets can have weapons, obviously, and of course they're supposed to, as they are sort of a military organization that's sort of trying to conquer the lands of Pandora. Have some nice sticker detail here. This is sort of what I would describe as sort of a tiger design. Looks very cool, sort of a tiger roaring, and it's on both sides there. Do have some more sticker detail up top here, right here, 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 and here. Just adds in the detail of the set. You can play around with the wings a bit. Do have some opposability. You can't like push them back, but you can spin them fully 360 degrees and sort of angle them as you see fit. Now there is some room inside the set to place your characters. It's definitely way easier to place human characters inside than Navi, which is a little bit unfortunate. So you can fit Grace Augustine on the side there, and she looks fine. Of course, you'd want to flip around the face print to represent her having the mask, but you can sort of have human characters inside, and it works quite well. But unfortunately, on the box art, you can see they have Norm Spellman sort of hanging on to the set, and there's nothing really for him to grab. There, like, I'll show, you can kind of see, like, there's no like sort of like lightsaber blade piece for him to grab onto or anything like that. So basically, there's sort of this little slit in there, and you can fit his hand in, and he can sort of stay, but it's not, like you can see, he can easily pop off. So I would have preferred if they had something more official for him to hold on to, because I think that would have been a little bit more accurate, and would have just been a little bit better, especially if depending on how you want to display the characters on, because right now he'll just fall off. And because the set isn't designed to proportion, you can't really fit, as I drop his spear, you really can't fit a Navi character inside like they do have them in the film. Like, he's just barely sitting on right now. So I guess you could have him there, but it's not perfect by any stretch. His head's touching the top, like he can't go farther back. You'd have to lean him backwards, but then the tail gets in the way anyways. So there's really no way to truly fit the Navi characters inside. And that's just a little unfortunate, especially since we see in the film that they have multiple Navi characters at a time, sometimes sitting inside these areas of the ship. And it would have been cool if this set was just a little bit bigger, maybe, and allowed that aspect to come to life, essentially, in the Lego set. I don't know if maybe they tried to make it bigger, but then they decided to make the design a little bit smaller, or what happened in the design process. But just personally, I think I would have liked if this vehicle was a little bit larger, and then you had more room for either the gun positions, because again, there were other gun positions that you had could attach to the set, or just room for both Norm and Jake Sully to fit inside the set, or even just Grace and Jake Sully in his avatar or non-avatar form, because there really isn't room for him as either, as you can see, because with the wheelchair, which he would need, you can't fit it inside there, like, really at all. You can sort of jam him in there, but it's not ideal. Now, having said that, like I said in my sort of haul video when I announced I had this set, I think this overall looks very, very cool. It reminds me of the Halo vehicles, personally, for some reason. from Halo 3. I know it's not a perfect like one-to-one, but even in when I first saw Avatar, I thought of Halo when I saw these vehicles, and I just think this is a very cool design, definitely very unique. I just think it could have been slightly improved by making it a little bit larger. Now moving on to Site 26 finally, and basically sort of the same complaints as I have for the RDA Samson. I just think it's a little bit too small, and I'll get into what I think LEGO could have done later, but basically it's this very small little build. It's definitely very cool. Like, I feel like if you get 2 of these sets and combine them, it would really work quite well. But as it stands right now, obviously it's just one set, or one sort of section, and it's okay. Like I said, it definitely has some very cool detail. You have the windows there, looks excellent. Wrapping around there, you got the sort of compression tanks or oxygen tanks on the sides here, which represents, you know, them needing to pump in oxygen, because they'll die if they don't have oxygen inside these things. Now, you can pop off the sort of roof area. It isn't really held down by any studs. It's just held by gravity, so you can just pull it off and reveal what is inside. And this really shows how cramped the set inside is, as you really only have room for the sort of, I can't remember exactly what these are called, but these sort of transfer beds, essentially, where they transfer their consciousness into their avatar. So you can fit Jake Sully inside, or I guess you could pretend to place Grace Augustine, but we don't get her avatar character as a figure, unfortunately. And then, of course, there is room at the side. I thought this was going to be the sort of area where Jake, you know, talks about his feelings of what he's doing to the people of Pandora, and, you know, his regrets and whatnot. And at first he's, you know, very against the culture, but then as the film goes on, he starts to connect with them and doesn't feel as comfortable doing what he has to do. But it seems like the printed design there, which I'll just pop off this piece, which is just a sticker, is sort of just almost like it just his brainwaves, like that. So you can see, looks pretty cool though, and goes back in like that. But you can really see it's very small, and I feel like had they doubled it in size and just expanded this outward more, where you can have like walk-in room to go in, because right now obviously all you can really do is plop them in, and it would have been nice had you can just go out more and then walk in through the side, and perhaps had 2 of these beds, one to represent, you know, Norm Spellman, and one to represent Jake Sully's. I just think this set is too cramped and too small for what it could have been, even though it might have made the set a bit more expensive. You know, 887 pieces. I think this set could have easily crossed over 1,000, and either put those extra pieces into making a bigger RDA Samson, or in my preference overall, I think a larger Site 26, you know, you wouldn't have been able to double it in size, but, you know, you would have been able to have a good solid section farther out, I believe, and I just think it would have worked a little bit better, made the set a lot more accurate. Now, I should bring up, there is, of course, the nice sort of sticker piece here to represent Jake inside the tank there. And then you also have the heavy-duty door that you can open up. It's got the nice little keypad piece there. And yeah, overall, it's a very nice build. I just think it could have been a bit larger, which would have aided the set, I think, in looking even better than it does. Because I think as a standalone piece, you know, just putting it like this, you know, off to the side essentially, I think it looks good. But in terms of play, I don't think it functions as well as it could have. And I actually think having it larger would have enabled more playability, especially with Site 26. With that being said, I still think this is a pretty good set with some great exclusive minifigures. Still would have loved to see either a Dr. Grace, Augustine, Avatar character, or Norm Spellman as his human character. I think either of those as figures would have been great to have in this set. With that being said, I still think this is a great set. This is definitely my second favorite set of LEGO Avatar. I just love this RDA Samson, even though, again, I feel like it could have been larger to really have the playability and reenactment factor. I still think this is a pretty darn good set. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this LEGO Avatar set in the comments down below. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.